Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I'm doing alright. It's actually still Thursday for me. It's some 7 hours after I posted my Caprina video. I don't know how to say that word, I just realized. But, I don't know how to say it in normal conversation. I know how to sing it, but I don't know how to be like, oh yeah, I totally know this word and how to pronounce it. Oh, I did find out. It was some sort of drink, which is very interesting. It was a pretty drink, so I mean, that was cool. But anyway, yeah, so today I thought I would show you some more animation. Yeah, I just can't get enough of it. But for real, some of you might recognize this animation, and if you do, don't tell anybody. But I'm gonna guess most of you can recognize what this is, and you know, that's okay. It's not gonna come out for like a million years, because I have reasons, but yeah, I still want to work on it. I think it'd be a fun project. What you're seeing here was very, very fun to animate. I technically only had to animate one turn of the head and just flip it, but I had a lot of issues with like the eyes and like the positioning of them being consistent between the flipping, and then I had to recolor things so that the highlights are the same side, at least, for the eye highlight, and the nose a little bit, though I still kind of flipped the nose highlight, but I feel like that one made sense. The shadows still stayed on the same side, but anyway, that's probably not interesting at all. I know some of you are interested in seeing my animation process. Some have asked in the past for me to do a tutorial. I feel like I've said this in a Drawn Talk a long time ago. It might have even been a year ago, because there are a lot of Drawn Talks. Yeah, I feel like I said this at least once, where it's like, I'm not the best explainer, or at least I don't feel like I'm very interesting when I try to explain things. So a tutorial would not be something that would be, one, interesting, or two, fun for me. So at least showing you how I do it, you can kind of pick up on my process, at least for recordings. Because I'm sure you can kind of tell how some of the things I do, what happens, though that doesn't discount the need to, obviously learn the actual stuff for animation, like the 12 principles of animation. I haven't studied up on those in a little while, I admit, but I try to remember some of the things that I just, input in my just general animations. Like this animation here, because of the speed of it, it just turns out to be straight ahead animation, which a lot of animators kind of find problems with, which I do as well. You do have to fix a lot of things after you're done with it. Pose-to-pose animation is definitely something more widely accepted, question mark. At least I think it's a good way to animate. It's just that sometimes I'm lazy, so I do straight ahead animation. But I do, the other stuff of follow through and overlapping action. You can see those examples in how I animate the hair. Arcs are definitely important, and that is something I would say you can see in this animation. Just when you learn the 12 principles, you end up seeing them in a lot of work presented. And sometimes people who animate have been doing those, rules without realizing it. But, despite this, I definitely recommend studying up on that if you're interested in animating and improving and everything. I remember I think I first started studying the 12 principles 2 years ago. It's taken a while for me to, apply everything and care whether I've been doing them, because in the past a lot of my videos have been I'm trying to get this out, it doesn't really matter if it's good or not, let me just do this real quick, take a bunch of shortcuts, it's not gonna matter. But nowadays I'm this animation is the only animation I'm doing right now. Or well, not technically, the only animation I will be posting for a while. And because of that I'm it's gotta be good. So I feel like I've definitely been improving as of late, at least with, shorter animations like this, where it's clearer that I took a little bit more care to the outcome. Ooh, and I actually pulled up the 12 Principles of Animation list just for reference as I was talking about it, and I got to, you know, lower down on the list, and there are things like solid drawing and appeal, and, you know, of course solid drawing is very important. That's how your characters feel real, because that means basically solid drawing is the title for, like, hey, does your person look like they're not flat? So that's what that is. And then appeal is like just how, not how good a character looks, but how, I guess, relatable / something the audience can connect with / relate to or enjoy. And, you know, sometimes, I mean, if you just want to make yourself happy or your audience happy, sometimes appeal is the most, you know, the biggest thing. Where it's like your style, doing a lot of characterization for you, and sometimes you don't have to animate a million frames in order to achieve appeal, so I don't know, just something to think about if you're interested in making videos. I've definitely struggled with appeal a lot, and I've been trying to get better at that as time goes. I still make mistakes, but I've been trying to have more clean animations, more it's kind of hard to explain. It's just like, I've been trying not to make my characters look malformed, which is something I think is, it's just a thing that sometimes happens when you're animating and you don't realize it, and then you're done with the animation and you look at it and that person just looks like, And that's happened to me multiple times. In fact, in the video that I posted on Thursday, there were a few things where I noticed before I finished, so luckily they're not in the video anymore, but there were just a few characters that I had drawn, and I was, at this point, I was like so tired and just fed up with drawing the little chickaboom, 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 ah parts, and I think at some point I was just like, not paying attention, so when I finished, some of the characters just looked so wonky. Luckily, I finished what I managed to catch, though there were still some things I noticed when I finished and uploaded. I was like, oh, should've fixed that. But it's too late. So, I mean, I'm still happy with the final result, so it's fine. Just like, in the end, if you at least notice your mistake, and you can learn from it, it doesn't really matter if the final product has a few mistakes. Just, you know, as long as you see them and as long as you make note, it'll be fine, is what I'm telling myself. But truthfully, I think that is something important to, I guess, take away from making a video. Is just, if you're unhappy with something after upload, just remember it for next time and make sure to not do that same mistake, because that's what learning is. Well, it seems this Drawn Talk is coming to a close pretty quickly in my mind. I guess I just talked about, I don't even know, I talked a lot about animation this week. I hope some of you may have taken away something from that. I'm hoping. I guess if you have any questions for me regarding the topic of animation, I won't do a tutorial again, but I will at least try to talk about your questions or curiosities, but in the end it's about practice, so advice is just advice until you put it to use. But anyway, so thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure having you this week, and bye bye!